When the men first spotted the horse lying on the ground, they assumed it was already gone. She looked lifeless, skinny, covered in dirt, and barely recognizable. They couldn't understand how anyone could leave a horse in that kind of condition. But as they got closer to what they thought was a dead body, something unexpected happened, and it completely shook them. It had all started earlier that evening. Carter and Robin, two close friends, went out for a walk. It hadn't been a good day for either of them. Carter had just gotten an email from a real estate company he had hoped to work for. They'd decided not to move forward with his application. Robin was dealing with something worse. His girlfriend of 6 years had ended things and sent him photos of herself with someone else. Both of them were feeling pretty low, thinking the world had just dumped on them. So they figured a walk might help clear their heads a bit. They had been walking for about half an hour when they reached a muddy construction site. That's where Carter suddenly froze. Something large was lying ahead, half sunken in the mud. They couldn't make out what it was at first, but Robin quickly realized it was a horse. He had been around horses as a kid, going to riding competitions, so he recognized the shape right away. The sight of the animal hit him hard. "I remember feeling a pit in my stomach when I saw her," Robin said later. "Horses are such gentle, amazing animals. One day I hope I can have one of my own. So to see this one lying there like that, it hurt. At first they both assumed the horse had died. She looked so weak, her ribs showing through her skin, and her body was full of sores. They didn't think there was any chance she'd survived whatever had happened to her. They started thinking about how they could move her off the road and bury her properly. But then, out of nowhere, something happened. Robin noticed it first. He leaned in a bit and suddenly gasped. "She's alive! She's breathing!" he shouted. They both stopped and stared. For a few seconds, nothing happened. No movement, no breath. Their hope began to slip away. But then, she inhaled again, a clear, shaky breath. Then, slowly, her eyes opened. Just for a second, she looked right at Robin, and then closed them again. When she opened her eyes, a single tear slipped down from her left eye. Some say horses only shed tears when their tear ducts are blocked, but I don't think that was it. To me, it felt like she cried, like she was using the last bit of her strength to look at me and ask for help. There was fear in her eyes, deep, quiet fear, and she looked truly sad. It was like she wanted to live, but knew time was running out unless someone stepped in, Robin said. Right then, both men forgot about everything they'd been going through. They just knew they had to help her. They called the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals right away. Within half an hour, a rescue team arrived, and the moment they saw the horse, their hearts sank. She looked worse than any of them had expected. Her bones were sticking out from under her thin, shrunken skin. It was hard to understand how someone could let an animal get like this. But right now, they didn't want to waste time on the why. They needed to save her. 6 men carefully lifted the horse into the rescue van. Every time they touched her, she flinched from the pain. Her body was so sensitive that even the slightest pressure hurt. Carter and Robin climbed in with the team and stayed close the whole ride. Robin didn't take his eyes off her the entire way. He gently stroked her head and whispered, "You're going to be okay. I promise." Once they arrived at the animal care center, the vet ran tests and confirmed just how bad her condition was. They later named her Heidi. Her protein levels were dangerously low. She had multiple skin infections, and her body was filled with worms. "It's a miracle she's still breathing," one of the rescuers said. They refused to give up. Heidi was given 7 liters of blood from 2 healthy horses, and a drip was started right away. But even after all that, she still looked lifeless. She just lay there, barely moving, like she was waiting for the end. It was heartbreaking to see. But the team wasn't ready to let her go. "She might have given up, but we haven't," one rescuer said. They gently wrapped her in special pads to protect her wounds, knowing it would take time for them to heal. Thankfully, the staff had patience, and more importantly, they had hope. They began a slow refeeding program to help Heidi regain her strength, and little by little, she started to improve. But she still had a long way to go. Then one morning, something happened that left the staff completely stunned. When they walked into the stall, they found Heidi standing on her own. She was shaky and clearly still sick, but she had managed to stand up. "Good girl, but you need to lie down," her caretaker said gently. But Heidi wouldn't. It was as if she was afraid that if she lay down, she wouldn't be able to get back up again. As the hours passed, she stayed on her feet, swaying slightly. Eventually, she started breathing heavily from exhaustion. Everyone was worried, but no one forced her down. "We wanted her to feel safe here. We needed her to trust us," the caretaker said. By evening, her eyes looked glazed and tired. Still, she refused to rest. The trauma she'd been through at the construction site clearly haunted her. The rescuers were getting more and more worried. If Heidi suddenly collapsed, things could quickly take a turn for the worse. But then something unexpected happened, something that changed everything. Just when it seemed like all their efforts might not be enough, Robin and Carter showed up unannounced. They hadn't been able to stop thinking about Heidi, so they decided to visit her and see how she was doing. "Hey, girl," Robin said softly. As soon as Heidi heard his voice, she lifted her head. For the first time, the team saw a flicker of light in her eyes. She recognized Robin and Carter immediately, and her whole expression changed. She was excited to see them. Without needing much encouragement, Heidi calmly laid down. It was a small moment, but a powerful one. The team continued caring for her, treating her wounds, and slowly helping her regain strength. Heidi started showing signs that she wanted to live. She began eating more, and day by day she put on weight. Sometimes she would stand and walk around the stable, though she'd get tired and lie down after about half an hour. But she kept trying. Heidi wasn't giving up. Weeks turned into months, and her recovery was steady. Her body filled out, her wounds healed, and she looked stronger every day. Eventually, she was able to walk around without needing to rest. Then one day, she started running, really running, for the first time since she was rescued. She looked completely different from the weak, lifeless horse they had found in the mud. Now, Heidi is no longer that broken, sick pony. She's full of energy, healthy, playful, and happy. She lives in a large, open space where she can run freely. The staff who saved her are like family now, and she loves being around them. The rescue team shared Heidi's journey online, posting pictures and videos. People who saw her story were overwhelmed with joy. Many couldn't believe someone had let her suffer like that. One person commented, "She's so beautiful. How could anyone neglect her?" Another wrote, "She looks amazing. I'm so glad Robin and Carter acted so fast." Someone else added, "You guys are incredible. Thank you for saving her. What a precious soul." And as for Robin and Carter, they're still close with Heidi. They visit her often and always light up when they talk about her. Carter ended up landing a better job, and Robin moved on from his ex. He even said he's met a good woman, and when the time's right, he's hopeful about the future. "Heidi's story gave me hope," he said. "If she could survive all that, so can I." It's true, there's nothing better for the heart than lifting someone up, and that includes animals too. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing rescues like Heidi's. Thanks for watching.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.